All right, what's hip hop happening? We have Titans Reloaded versus Tythonic. I'm Blaine. We got Music Clan here as C2 and Tess on cams. So far, we have already Baron spotted on the battleground. Anything spicy here, Musi?
I can't believe Baron got through picks and bans. I mean, Baron Samdi is really polarizing god in Smite 2 right now just because of how strong they are in so many roles. You can flex them to support, to mid, to solo, which is where we're seeing them right now, versus the Odin pick from Nil. And speaking of Odin, the Titans Reloaded looks like have 5 shells on their team, Blaine. Where
Well, if one shell is good, two is better, and five, that's just good business. How do you feel about the Baron Snake into Odin stun matchup? Who do you think has the upper hand in that interaction?
Baron Samdi should win this lane 9 times out of 10, especially in a vacuum if they're all by themselves, unless the jungler, unless Ice Ice is able to interfere with events. Baron Samdi should absolutely just win lane. They have so much pressure with they can snake, they can throw out their two, they have the eye beams as well, which lowers their strength and attack speed, just everything it's got going on. Less Mystics should be sitting ridiculously pretty.
All right, and we see here in the duo lane, my beloved Yamoja is back in town, throwing out the water, splish splash. She was taking a bath. Now that we have 7 shells on the map, here comes a jungler gank, the first one of the game, and just like that, the most successful gank of all time. First Warhorn of the game.
Dark showing up there, asking his team, hey, can we get anything if I go in? Do we kill? But Ragna and Bandolero giving him the all clear, like, nah, jumping on top of a Umoja is really difficult. She can shove you away, and Jing Wei has so much escape with her knock up and her dash. Trying to get a lockdown on either of those characters is just not a fun time, even if you're Fenrir. Just a very strong pick of the jungle because of his ult, but he's not there yet, only at level 3, so it's going to take a hot minute before this dual lane is able to get rolling. But he is looking to take a bite out of this Odin potentially.
Yeah, sometimes ganking is not the play. We're going to see if Odin feels like it. Oh, and here's the jump.
In goes Fenrir.
Fenrir using the Brutalize, still trying to chase down. No ultimates up on the map, and so Odin is going to be able to get away. And while I think Baron has a good pressure matchup, Odin has a couple of abilities in his kit to be able to get away from that snake. Can either jump away or try to stun Baron before the root scales up so that he doesn't take too much damage in return. I think Odin probably, even though he doesn't have a ton of pressure in that matchup, he might not die too often either. We're going to see what happens here. Already 1 gank on the board. It's a lot slower game than last time.
Say, it's going to take a quick moment before things really start ramping up. But also on the topic of this Fenrir and this Odin, who is just putting everything that he can onto him right now. You can see him hanging around that Totem Aku. The Odin notably doesn't have any physical protections yet. So the sooner that Dark can capitalize on this lane, the better, before Nil has a chance to get his Breastplate of Valor online or a Mystical Mail or something like that. Nil has to contend with the fact that his laner is magical and the jungler that he's facing off against is physical, which is all the more in benefit for Titans Reloaded.
Yeah, the game has definitely slowed down a lot with some of these recent changes. Are there any changes to the comeback mechanics or map changes that you would like to highlight that you think have really slowed down the pace of this game early on?
So, notably, it doesn't really come into play right away, but if one team gets themselves pressured out and they lose a Phoenix, the fire waves that spawn afterwards, when they clear that fire wave, they do get themselves some bonus gold. So as long as you're able to hunker down and have a good defense, it's a lot easier to stay in the game. And with that additional change to Ancient Fury, it no longer completely turns off towers and phoenixes. So even if the enemy team gets that Ancient Fury, it's more akin to imagine like an Emperor's Armor from Smite 1. You're not completely shut out, but it is going to be kind of tough.
Some fighting over the camps, and it looks like Tythonic was not able to grab it. It's kind of hard to tell with the blue camp who steals it sometimes. It's a bit of a tough color to see if it is picked up by Order or Chaos. So far into this game, 5 minutes, 40 seconds. There hasn't been first blood yet, but Tythonic has been able to manage a slight gold lead through pressuring out some of these neutral objectives, and a couple of war horns going the way of Tythonic so far, buffing those waves.
It's not even like there's no kills because a team hasn't been actively trying to make something happen. I mean, we've seen Dark in both duo and solo lane showing up, trying to make some moves, but Tythonic has been doing a really good job of not overcommitting to anything. Nil, especially in the solo lane, has been doing a good job just holding on against this Baron Samity. At this point, Nil's job is just to not die and make it to the late game so you can start pressuring people with that Odin cage. I would expect that the first time we're really going to see people fall is when Gold Fury comes into the minds of the players here. Once they realize, like, hey, it's time to start pushing this objective, that's when we're going to start seeing it hit the fan.
Gold Fury definitely worth killing for and dying for, but you can't just give away this purple camp for free. 2v2 fight here. Yemoja ult, first time we've seen it come out here. Athena's going to get caught up in it, but not too much. Yemoja put in a bouncy house. The ring tosses are going to give her some procs. She's running away, and it is not going to be enough. Athena taunts her back in, and first blood goes the way of Titans Reloaded. Yemoja, not enough Omi to be the getaway car for herself there. And Fenrir brutalized and still chasing down. Ultimate comes out. Has to use both beads and ult to get away there. The Jingwei, and she's not out of danger yet. She does manage to get away, but now there is pressure around this Gold Fury, and it is going to be the call for Titans Reloaded. I think there might be a defense here lined up, but the Gold Fury is not tanky enough to give Tythonic enough time to put up a defense. Titans Reloaded pick up first blood and the first Gold Fury of this game.
Gold Fury, the last few patches when Sunder was really prevalent in the game, contesting a Gold Fury felt pretty easy in that, oh, hey-oh, in this duo lane, Yemoja, good lord, taking some poke there. It looks like the Loki Ice wander around the area. No, we're okay. As I was saying, contesting Gold Fury used to be really easy. Sunder was so strong that you could very much so just kind of walk up and take it away. All you had to worry about was, does the other support or jungler have their Sunder available? But now that Sunder isn't as prevalent, I mean, we see there's 7 shells in the game right now.
Here comes the on her ult to try to get some more of this neutral objectives. Jump comes out. Yemoja's here. Huge taunt is going to help get this on her out. Able to juke the Yemoja stun. The impale clutching for on her. And the Athena ult giving him an extra little bit of movement speed. And here comes the revenge all the way. Not going to take him all the way back into the tower, but back into Athena's taunt grasp. And Ragna picking up the second kill of this game. If a taunt isn't enough, that Ragnarok is going to do the trick. Athena, not really known for an early game god. Is this because of the more aggressive build, or is it because of these ults coming out for Titans Reloaded that they're able to get this kind of pressure?
Fenrir is a key contributing factor to part of this Athena success that we're seeing. Like you said, Athena, the early pressure isn't as there. Her global presence is nice. We saw the ult show up, and the fact that it gives a health shield really saved members of Titan Reloaded there. But it's this early level Fenrir where they don't have a Talisman of Purification yet to deal with his Ragnarok ult to just pick somebody up and take him away. Raffer doesn't have beads, they have shell. So that makes him a really susceptible target to things like taunt and the Ragnarok from Fenrir.
Yeah, I think it's just, man, Fenrir is so strong and has been picked up in basically every set here. And Tythonic was able to pick up that Queen Naga. Athena was thinking about maybe sending a ranged auto at it, decided to just pick up that gold camp instead. We're here. One Gold Fury has gone the way of Titans Reloaded, still only about 1,000 gold lead in their pocket. 10.5 minutes in. This is a best of 3. And I think teams are maybe not going as hard for a game 1 victory because it is a best of 3. Lots of late game picks here. We have a Jing Wei, we have an Athena, we have a Yemoja, Odin. Like, I think definitely a lot of teams going for healers here. Big fight around this purple camp once again. Oh, Yemoja ult coming out at the start of these fights, and she might be the first victim to this Ragnarok. The Brutalize is going through these ring tosses. Once again, deja vu. No ring is going to take you that far. Brought down by the Hecate. And once again, when Yemoja is using her ult at the beginning, she's brought down first. Here comes another engage. And here comes the Brutalize into the Athena taunt combo. Jingwei once again ulting over the wall, but I don't think Fenrir wants to give up just yet. The knockup is going to help. The Athena is not coming in, and there she goes. Brings it down. That's an Athena secure, and the mitigations from that Athena ult barely saving this Fenrir. He should be able to get out of here if he runs fast enough. But here comes the enemy jungler running full speed, impaled by On Her once again, hiding in the bushes. Yemoja picks up the kill on Dirk, and here we see a 2v2. It's like a duo lane, but a couple members missing. I think that fight is finally over.
That was a ridiculous. I love the fact that Athena taunted towards Dark there just to get the shell pop off or Nuva ult. There, I thought Dark might have gotten out of there. If it wasn't for the fact that Ice intercepted on the other side, Dark was absolutely out of there, which would have been criminal for Titans Reloaded for him to walk away scot-free. But luckily, Ice there to cut off the pathing and make sure that Dark has no choice but to try to turn around and fight Irapper. Good positioning from Ice all around, but Titans Reloaded still finding themselves in an advantageous position, especially looking at this Loki here.
Well, that's a jungler ult for a jungle ult there. And man, does it really have to change the way you play the game when one team has 5 shells on them? You see a low health bar and you're like, is it low? Is it low?
The health bars are a lie. Anything that you see could change in a minute. With 5 shells, it is just, it's a pain, honestly, if you're a player trying to figure out, okay, whose shell went off. Everybody's health bar just went up at the same time. I don't know who just used that. If you're not paying attention to little words that pop up, oh, Ragnar getting pressured by Raffer here.
Here comes the Yemoja ult, the Nuwa ult as well. Athena is just going to try to ult out, but brought low by 3 members of Tythonic there. And they are going to go for a Gold Fury call. And they are zoning out every member of Titans Reloaded. I do not think there's going to be a defense here. Looking instead, maybe for a Pyromancer. Yemoja is zoning out members that are not there. It will be Gold Fury brought down for Tythonic. And here's the pyro call. Will Odin see it? Does Odin know? Will Odin jump over this wall? I think Odin's going after this Hecate. Pyromancer, still alive, still chilling, still just vibing. They did have to drop it here. Man, I mean, I just don't think... Does Tythonic even really have any abilities that can really take advantage of Titans Reloaded not having beads or Aegis? Because what is... like... You might say, oh, no Aegis for Numa ult, but what is Shell if not just a bad Aegis?
So, Shell here, oh my goodness, that Jingwei in a bit of trouble. I think, yep, down goes Emmanuel. Even as I was trying to speak, Emmanuel, I'm trying to talk here, man. You can't go dying. I got analysis to do. But Shell, so to answer your question about that CC, I mean, you have opened the gates from Hecate as we're meandering around this Naga. Tythonic putting a lot of pressure here.
Here comes the Ragnarok, and it brings into that Nuwa stun. The stun comes out, and here comes the Athena taunt. It's not going to be enough, and Athena has to just ult back to the Hecate there.
And the
Wow,
shell.
lots of damage and no deaths for Titans Reloaded. That's what 3 shells will buy you.
Holy cats, man. So we we're talking about these shells and how frustrating it can be to deal with that. There's case number one. Not even case number one. What case number do we get to this point, Blaine? We're at least 5 or 6, right? Of Shell showing up and just eating abilities. You can see that 3 members of Titans Reloaded are sharing a Shell cooldown. They all popped us at the same time as we kind of transfer over
To
to
a
a
pause screen here.
little pause scene, little desk action. But we're
We
talking
can
about
talk
the
about things
shell.
now.
Yeah, I say it's time for Musiclan to go on his shell rant that he has started at the beginning of the Founder series and then just hasn't ended. Shell earns you so much time, in addition to the fact that it will give you that extra health bar. It also has the benefit of reducing damage from auto attacks. So when you build this item, it helps your ADC box against the other ADC. It helps your team handle like trading in solo
Oh,
lane.
going right back into it. Sorry, here's Queen Naga spawning in 15 and a half minutes. Okay, it doesn't look like anything crazy is happening. You can continue, sorry.
Hey, no, you're good. It's like I was ready. I was like, and there's blood all over the floor. No, we're good. It's clean. It's all right. I can keep ranting about Shell, but this relic is so versatile, especially in the face of the fact that Sunder is just not what it used to be. So now these teams are looking at what's the next silly thing that we can attach to. Shell is that very, very handy relic for any situation you could think of.
What are they going to do? Odin cage you? And here we go. Hecate ult, and once again, it looks like maybe another pause here. I'm not sure if a pause is going to save this mesmerized level 11 Yamoja, though.
It's like watching a
Not looking great.
train wreck in slow motion here. Like you know the train's coming. You're like, I can't help them. What am I supposed to do?
Technical difficulties. And the sad part is, no beads or Aegis, right? Loki could do things late. Odin Cage, not going to be great against, 5 Phantom Shells, right? Nuance stuns, if the other team is mobile, they have some mobility. You're not going to catch too many of them with a Shining Metal. But if they can catch, and Yamoja, they can also just shell you. It's just they chose double walls, and the other team has 5 shells because Sundering Arc isn't good anymore. But the only shining grace is that they could hypothetically be able to maneuver the enemy team around with Yamoja ring tosses, but I don't think the Yamoja's really been going after that too many times this game.
Not as of current, no. But it is something we could expect to see from Raffer potentially later in this game. As we kind of just waiting for this classic combat pause between two teams here. I want to go ahead and highlight some of the. I want to look at some of these builds that we have between our mid laners here. So
All right.
from Hecate, we see that Book of Thoth into Chronos Pendant Rush. And we know that these mages aren't always building the Transcendence to go with their Book of Thoth because the interaction isn't as strong as it used to be. So now the cooldown build since the recent change, even after the nerfs, the cooldown build is really, really strong for mages. The ability to just throw out your abilities whenever you want to. You get so much power from doing so. And when you build full power, you can't really one-shot anybody in the game right now. So that makes cooldown even more appealing. I'm terrified of this new op right now. Oh, hey, we are back in it and winning it. Pyromancer Blaine, picked up by Titans Reloaded.
Yep, you're gonna need those because sieging is a bit more difficult now. And here comes the Ragnarok, Yemoja ring tossing. This is what we've seen all game. The stun coming out. And Fenrir not able to find the Yemoja. This might be the turning point. This is the first time Fenrir has not been able to catch this Yemoja. Yemoja lives! Yemoja lives! As I often scream out when I get away, I lived! And then followed by something not very appropriate. As we see Yemoja 1-3-1, that might be the turning point. When you're healthy enough to survive and the other team committed all of that to get you and they don't get it, that's a pretty important turning point in a fight. Should be interesting. As we now see, 17 minutes into this game, 1,200 gold lead for Titans Reloaded. Man, the changes they've made to make this game less snowbally, it's working. You're going to need these pyro bombs.
Runic Bomb certainly is a helpful tool, like you said, for sieging the towers, the phoenixes, but also for helping confirm objectives such as Fire Giant or Gold Fury. If you need to pour in a little bit of extra damage, Runic Bomb is your friend. And speaking of objectives, Titans Reloaded moving in on this mid lane here.
And once again, Fenrir jumping in, Ragnarok picking up the Nuwa. It's an acquired taste, going after something a little bit different than the Yemoja this time. He's developed a taste for mid laner, and now it is the Gold Fury. But this time there is a defense put up by Tythonic. Gold Fury bouncing around a little bit, healing back up, once again leashed by Titans Reloaded. And now, oh my goodness, what is happening? Baron comes out, spinning around, caught in the Odin cage, stunned, jumping on Yemoja. Yemoja brought down, healing up. All these Baron heals, all these Yemoja heals. Man, these health bars are filling back up like a bucket dropped into the ocean. And once again, leashed is this Gold Fury, and I think this will be the last time it is leashed in this fight, brought down by Titans Reloaded.
Your middle tower is under attack.
For having a very... So, Talisman of Purification is my favorite item in the game right now. And everybody should build it because it's the best, because I said so, and you have to listen to me because I'm a voice on the screen, right? Even with Talisman of Purification coming out there to CC Immune, that opened the gates. Double taunted to open the gates, by the way. If there were ever a time to let rip your Talisman, that is the moment. To have it not even matter is a bitter taste in the mouth for Tythonic there. Really unfortunate. I also appreciated the fact that Odin Cage came out and not a single member of Titans Reloaded cared. Not because they used any shells, but just because they're like, what are you gonna do about it? And Blaine...
I'm not stuck in here with you.
Yeah, you're stuck in here with me. But Blaine, we're already seeing, as this Baron makes rotations to team fights, I mean, we're already pushing level 18 for these solo laners. He is a menace. That heal and his ultimate are definitely things to keep an eye out for in these fights.
Yeah, these fights have been really grouped up. Baron has been able to just drop the heal anywhere in these team fights, and it's been hitting.
And that heal scales off of cooldown. So now Baron Samdi is building Breastplate of Valor, Genji's Guard, Soul Gem as well. I mean, those three items all have cooldown. They all augment his heal. They make his damage better. He's got Stone of Binding online. He hits you with the wrap. He hits you with the ult. It's bad news bears for anybody who stands in front of this Baron Samdi, and Tythonic have not been able to do anything to slow that down.
The rich get richer. Another Pyromancer call. Loki is around. Is he going to walk back? Loki sees the Pyromancer call, goes back to a back camp. How would you try to kill this Baron? Or is he even your top target right now? Is this Hecate or on her a higher priority than this Baron right now?
Killing Baron is not the easiest thing to do because of the fact that he has a ramping slow, his root, his ultimate, it stuns, it vortexes, he heals. Honestly, your go-to might be try to pick on Ragna, try to pick on Icy, try to pick on Dark. circle back to the Baron after you have people who can outnumber him and overwhelm him, because trying to take him down in the middle of a team fight when he has 3 tank items, it's going to be a little difficult with the tools that Tythonic has right now.
The 3 people that you just said to pick on have a combined 1 death.
Well, I mean, I didn't say they've succeeded. I'd say it's what they gotta do. Hey, I'm not the players. I don't know how to make it happen. I'm just the boss telling you what to do.
All right, and now we see once again, Titans Reloaded, they don't have an insane gold lead, but they have been walking around anywhere they want on this map. What do they go for next? Is it the next Fire Giant call?
Fire Giant is definitely something that they could start looking at. They have a significant gold advantage. They have a level advantage. They're winning fights. They can force one right now in the mid lane.
Mojo ult comes out, but Baron's gonna sit down the alley, and the Hekate ult brings them back. And here comes Yamojo ring toss, beautiful ring toss. And on her is jumping in. Alti is brought out, walks through the Odin cage, and is brought down by Nile. And then Fenrir jumps too far, fights off more than he can choose. And Tythonic picks up 4 kills in the mid lane. Talk about a Yamojo ring toss from way downtown. And that is 5 well-placed ults. Wow, Tythonic just turned this whole game upside down and picks up 2 towers for their trouble.
Titans Reloaded trying to force that fight in the mid lane. Raffer turning around with that ultimate, and then Tythonic just flipped it on its head. You called it out, Raffer with the beautiful ring mounts there, just throwing people back into the fight when they were trying to leave. I guess that's another avenue that I hadn't previously considered. Thank you, Tythonic. If you can put the Baron in a troublesome situation by chunking him out, he tries to walk away, just tell him no.
Just tell him no. Fire Giant called out. Yeah, Baron ults. Put him in that alley that Yamojo ult. His ult ends, he walks away. He only has 2 square inches to pass. You just place a ring toss there, he goes right back in. Titans Reloaded trying to get this Gold Fury in return, but here comes Odin fending it off. And wow, just like that, Tythonic, normally when something like this happens, you get like objectives, you get stuff. You don't normally destroy this gold lead that quickly. Look what happened to the gold lead! What? I saw my mama. That was 7k gold difference in like 1 minute of gameplay. I mean, talk about a snowball, like how snowballs don't happen anymore. Tythonic brought out a flamethrower in this minute. Oh my goodness.
Tythonic keeping it hot and spicy, melting away the competition. Titans Reloaded looking for something in response. They can't contest the Gold Fury, even as Tythonic not really looking to start it, but they'll take a tier 1 tower on the right side, and Tythonic will respond with a tier 1 on the left side. I'm surprised that we're not seeing a gold push, but I suppose that when you can just take these towers for free, you might as well go for it. Titans Reloaded is going to have a very difficult time fighting into this Fire Giant, especially, I mean, your mental's got to be really shaken after losing a fight like you did in that mid lane. Everything was supposed to be going right for you, and then all of a sudden Tythonic says, oh, no, actually, we're crazy good. You're going to have to hold this. You're just like, okay, whoa, what do I do now?
They have done an amazing job of converting that single fight to taking out all of these towers all at once.
Even Gold
And there's
Fury,
the Ancient Fury.
That's going to make their next push even easier for them and even harder for Tythonic. They're grouping around, Yamojo and Odin grouping around this left side as the DPS picks up that Naga. This left side
It's looking
Phoenix
like a
siege is
dual
underway.
lane Phoenix push. They do have vision around that gap. If they decide to split push, Tythonic may get caught by a Fenrir. Here comes the Yamojo ult, and Baron is going to suck her in, and brought by Hekate! Emoja did too much last fight. They decide to take her out first, and now the Phantom Shells are being brought out, and you might become a Phantom at the end of this fight. Titans Reloaded defending this Phoenix with their lives, and now Baron's Brew, Health Chalice is getting popped all over the map, and that was a unsuccessful attack by Tythonic. The Emoja ult came out, and everybody just snapped, turns their head, and targeted this Yemoja.
4 shells that were used from Titans Reloaded share a cooldown there. You can see that within a second, you just saw the word shell pop up all around the left side there. Titans Reloaded, what a beautiful defense, using Baron to just catch Raffer. If you're able to take away the key that had you lose that last fight, do it. Suck in Raffer, open the gates, yoink the Odin away, take away these tanks so that the carries don't have a chance to put out the damage that they need to put Titans Reloaded down. That's how they're going to win this. So as long as they can keep that up, Titans Reloaded absolutely has a fighting chance. They did all that while Tythonic had Fire Giant.
It's not stopping this Tythonic push, though. They're still around this jungle. Yeah, I mean, Yemoja ulted, and you just saw the red exclamation mark pop over the heads of every member of Titans Reloaded during that fight. They had an exact plan, because Yemoja's been using these ults directly, like pointing them straight down the lane as opposed to trying to point them sideways down the lane to catch people. And so that when somebody ults in the same way every time, you can develop a plan around it. And that's exactly what Titans Reloaded did there. Still pushing these towers, though. That Ancient Fury buff still existing. But I don't know. I don't know if you can still push this at this point.
Tythonic, they want to. They want to take this tier 2, but getting in is going to be the tricky part. And the key might be Dark, who's a little out of position here.
I mean, you have to push a fight when you have a gold lead such as this one. This is the time. This is the time. And here comes the Yemoja ult, and it is going to snag the Baron, able to maneuver during his ult out of that. Here comes the Odin cage, catching out. Odin has to run away from this tower, almost brought down by the solo lane T2. And a whole lot of fighting, not a whole lot of dying. A lot of ults brought out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One tower picked up by Tythonic. That's a trade.
They're looking for more. Look at them standing in this bush. Ooh.
And here comes the Athena taunt, and that just brings them all straight to your Baron.
Poor Baron. That's tragic. Fire Giant, too.
Here comes the Fire Giant call. Fenrir picking up the Emoja. Talisman of Purification comes out. Band having to dash away. They are chasing at this Athena. She doesn't have her dash up for another few seconds. Here comes the Athena 3. Getting brought to safety by the Kate ult. Is Tythonic healthy enough to try to pull this? They're going back for it. Ragna's still around. Queen Naga spawning. Is Ragna going to be able to defend this? That Hecate ult did save their teammates, but are they healthy enough to try to get this? They're going for it. Is Ragna... Do they know Ragna's here? I don't know if they know. It's low. He's ulting. And Tythonic is able to secure it past beyond her ult, but it is not out of the woods yet. Here comes the Emoja ult just to say, Swiper, no swiping to Titans Reloaded and buy them some time. 30 minutes into this game. 11k gold lead for Tythonic, but they still have to do the Phoenix Siege.
Titans Reloaded battle plan that they've been using so far as they melt this Ancient Fury, holy cats, has been to pop all of your shells to live through a fight. And it works when they have shell. The moment they don't have shell, Tythonic is able to turn around and say, hey, you don't have all of that extra temporary health. We're just gonna kill you. So Tythonic doing an excellent job of baiting out shell relics in these fights. Even in that fight under tier 2 tower that happened previously, they still got their objective. They didn't kill them, but they got the shells, they got the tower, and then they were able to win the next fight to win themselves a fire giant. And you can see them grouping up now for this left side Phoenix Siege. The dance starting again.
The dance begins. Odin stun on that Athena saying, yeah, I see you. Don't open that door again unless you want don't open the door unless you want visitors. As we see Loki and Fenrir dancing around this middle lane. I'm not sure if they really have enough to push here unless they all in since these changes were made. Here comes the enhanced minion wave. Yemoja trying to ring toss, not going to catch this on her unawares. They're pushing in, not actually going for anything, looking for a bait of some ults there, and they just back out after that wave pushed in. Once again, somebody from Tythonic is just sitting around this mid lane, but oh, here comes the Ragnarok, and it picks up Get to Yemoja, but she gets a good ult off to save her skin, and here comes the Odin ult, and Rapper and Ice both brought down in this fight. Odin stuns. Baron's Brew is going out. Athena tries to snag somebody, and once again, this duo lane Phoenix. I'm still standing better than ever did. Once again, Yemoja ult not enough to bring this down. They have the walls, but they don't have the damage to put this bird in the cage.
Production, are we gonna are we allowed to? That's copyright, right? We're okay. Can we cut that post production? Is that cool? No, okay. Sorry, I was just on the phone, Blaine. Sorry, but no, it's great.
My bad.
But no,
I take it poorly enough that they'll never pick it up. They'll never pick it up.
Yeah, they'll never know. They'll never know. That's our secret. Wonderful singing voice, by the way. Oh, Bandolero!
Oh, this is exactly what they wanted. A second fight after the shells are down, but not on their own terms. And Odin brought down. Titans Reloaded were counting on Tythonic being caught unawares there, and they are able to push their own siege here. They have enhanced minions.
Fenrir lurking around that side corner. Here goes Bandolero once again.
I think Athena went for the classic dash taunt, but if that other team has relics up, you get cooked. Put on a platter for the entire Tythonic team there, and well, that's how you end a siege. That is how you end a siege, and it's going to be a push the other way now. This is a rubber band, no snowballs, only bouncing back and forth here down this mid lane. 33.5 minutes in. This might be the longest Smite 2 game I've ever seen. Will a Phoenix die? Who knows? I mean, these birds are supposed to be born again, but they haven't died yet, so can't really be reborn if you don't die in the first place. These Phoenixes haven't even dropped to half health once all game.
The counter engage from both of these team comps is actually insane, right? Titans Reloaded has opened the gates. They have Ragnarok. They have the Coffin from Baron. They've got Athena Taunt. They have so many tools that if somebody goes in on them, they can turn that fight around. And then conversely, over on Tythonic, you have a similar situation. If anybody jumps on this Nua, they are immediately dealing with Clay Soldiers and Metal Shard getting blown up. And if there's a Loki standing next to that Nua, you're dead. It doesn't matter who you are. You died. That's it. That's game over. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Jover, right? So Tythonic, even after picking up that kill on Odin, who didn't have his team to support him here,
another
Tythonic's just able to fight them off anyways.
And I mean, do you have to have, does each team go, okay, we are not even looking at a Phoenix until we have 5 runic bombs in our pockets at this point? Like, that might be what it takes at this point. And we see it's going to be an EFG fight. I mean, the worst scenario that can happen for either team is somebody getting caught out here. A lot of low health bars for Titans Reloaded. Odin coming in. Ragnarok. Yemoja ult catching all of them, but they're all walking out in Rapper. Once again, the first one to be brought down. Odin is going on her, able to jump over the wall and get out. Athena ulting to him, but Ice is able to do Loki things and kills this jungler. And once again, a double kill for the jungler. Is Athena going to be able to get away from this? The taunt, the beadsing the Athena. That's a triple kill for Ice, but brought down by Hecate. And that is the first Phoenix brought down this game in the mid lane 36 minutes in. I mean,
It's
Reloaded just weren't at full health for that fight, and they got punished for it.
That counter engage. Titans Reloaded made the first move there, letting rip that Fenrir, the Ragnarok from the back, pulling somebody in, open the gates. We had Baron Coffin sucking it up, and then Tythonic turned around and said, "You should know this too," and then just smacked him. Purification beads coming out there. Loki keeping him safe to make sure that he can secure that. He double killed. Did he get a triple kill there? Am I mistaken?
Loki got a triple, and nothing is more painful than being an Athena near the end of a team fight. You taunt the enemy Loki after he gets a couple of kills, and that brother man still had his beads up. He still had beads after all of that.
That's one of those moments where if I'm in my games, I'm like shouting, I'm like, he still has beads? None of you got his beads? What do you mean? And my teammates are like, whoa, shouting at me. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that.
And then your teammates go, did you hear me call Loki beads down? No? Okay.
I didn't say it, so it didn't happen. So how about you cool your jets?
Yeah, and still though, pyro bombs dropped in that fight. First, Phoenix brought down, and this is the first time we're going to see those fire minions you mentioned at the beginning of the game. It's kind of past the point where that extra gold is really going to matter, though.
We can get the consumables. Well, Athena's still down an item, and Anher isn't even full build yet versus this Jingwei, who is. So maybe a couple fire waves for Titans Reloaded could help them out.
How is Anher not full build at this point? That is actually kind of crazy. Very expensive items.
They're going
that a lot of wards.
Items or wards. They're going that route of chin size and crit death metal getting picked up to get some extra attacks.
It's a good genre.
Strength. Yeah, it's you ever seen a lion shred? It kicks butt. All right, it's nuts. That's my analysis. It's cool. Take that home.
Good analysis. I wonder how long on this Fire Giant call. They're all zoning around it. Honestly, it might be more valuable to get a pick than get the actual Fire Giant at this point in the game. If you can catch a Loki on wards into an Athena taunt, that'd be really nice. He's right there. Oh, they almost had him. Oh, Baron's ring toss back in, and here comes Yemoja ult, but Yemoja's a little bit on an island here. And that's a huge ultimate coming out for Yemoja for not a whole lot of value here. A lot of low health bars on Titans Reloaded. Tythonic needs to push this fight. Odin caging Banda, and there's one of many shells brought out. And the Baron ult sucks in Odin and brings him down. Alcy picking up the kill. This is one down for Tythonic. Will they continue to push this fight with the Titans Reloaded health bars so low? It is a 4v5. Even with all these health bars, he's stuck into the Ragnarok. Phantom shells coming out. Those health bars are alive. They are alive and well. Titans Reloaded survive and almost get multiple kills there. Getting all of the ultimates except for the Jingweis out of that fight. Oh my goodness. Talk about a game of inches and how low some of those health bars got. Tythonic picking up the runic bomb, but that was almost a deicide for either team there.
Titans Reloaded are making me so nervous right now. When Dark went back in there, I thought for sure that was a dead Fenrir, because we've seen it multiple times in this game alone. Tythonic's ability to just turn around and kill a squishy, but Fenrir being able to hold on, honestly, kept Titans Reloaded in that fight. You have to be careful not to overcommit to these engagements. The next team that wipes here, I would say they're in a losing situation.
I mean, that Athena taunt into this Fenrir jump was nasty. They all in here it comes. We've seen this movie before, and it has the same ending. Yemoja brought down around the Fire Giant. Nubal ult chunking Titans Reloaded for half their health. They can't heal without enemies around. unlike this Yamoja, but neither can Tythonic, with Yamoja brought down once again at the start of this fight. Ragnarok finds its home. Going to have to back, though. Does Tythonic get greedy? I don't think they can burn it fast enough. They're just going to be walking around and zoning and warding around this Fire Giant, it would seem. It is EFG, 41 minutes into this game. Dark looking at this Jingwei.
And On Her did just finish their Deathbringer, so that's a significant power spike for Ragna here. You can see him going to be pumping out a lot more damage in team fights, even as Titans Reloaded starts grouping up around this FG. Look at where Loki is.
Ooh, good On Her pillar from his own team, blocking. That's a bit of friendly fire on the structures there. And this new ult is going to bring Dark to half health there. And they're going to call for the EFG fight anyway. Loki split pushed this. Oh my! Loki is going for the in call. Loki split pushed the Phoenix down, and Alcy is able to pick up this EFG. Loki's on the Titan. Loki, Titan at half. It's down. It's down. This is game. Loki, them dirty, stabbing the Titan, living up to the legend. After the fairy tale ending, that is how you end a game. Oh my goodness. They got their eyes blinded by the light of this EFG and forgot that Loki players are low down. They're dirty. They're nasty. And they'll do it to you.
In the words of a great Izanami player that my friends ran into and ranked, slash lines don't matter. Pushing towers and phoenixes do. That was gross from Ice to just be like,
that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And you know what's the best part? This set's not even over. This set's not even over. They get to go again.
Blaine, let's make a wager right now.
Okay.
What are the odds Loki does that again? What do you think they fall for it twice?
There's no way. There's no way that happens twice in the same set.
Surely not.
I mean,
surely not. Right?
I'm a K-State fan. I'm not going to make the exact same bet that another K-State fan made about involving a Taco Bell menu item, but man, there's no way that happens again. There's no way that happens again.
Tythonic taking that first game, best of 3 here on the back of Ice, saying, "Screw a Fire Giant. Let's just win the game."
Yeah, and I mean, those were both teams using some of those ultimates to their max potential. I mean, almost every single time Dark didn't get blocked by On Her pillar, he was finding a kill with that Ragnarok, and then Alcy. Those were some dirty Hecate ults, not only saving Baron or Athena, but bringing Yamoja back in and defending that left Phoenix over and over again. The only time they didn't defend that left Phoenix is when Loki ended the game.
They cost them the game too.
Yeah, I mean, EFG is a really good objective, but it's not as good as the Titan. And that is what happens when you let somebody hit super late game. They can do that with these builds. I mean, that Boomba's Soul Eater, I mean, Heartseeker, Crimson Claws, how the cookie crumbles. I mean, they had to have seen the Phoenix go down, but they weren't able to back, and that's game. We're going to see game 2 if these teams make any adjustments. I honestly don't think the rosters are going to be that much different because both teams, their comps were working extremely well for them. I don't think Tythonic is going to go both Odin and Yamoja, knowing that Titans Reloaded is perfectly willing to go 5 Phantom Shells in one team.
I mean, if you're able to burn the shells and get some use, I mean, because you can use Odin Cage and Yamoja all to force the shells instead of using, because they're not being used to even counter these walls. It's almost like a icing on the cake scenario. We're using those to stagger health bars. It's almost there for new ult.
I mean, it does it all. It's a big boy relic. It's a funny item. But we're going to see how long until this game 2 starts. Hecate, in a losing effort, the Kirk Cousins stat line 10, 1, and 5 did a fantastic job all game. Can't stop a Loki from doing Loki things. I'm going to be very surprised. I mean, we've seen Fenrir played almost every single set in Smite 2 Founders series, and yet Bro still is allowed through every time.
Fenrir is a very dominating god in this series, largely in part due to his versatility in where he can be picked and his ability to that's Odin. His ability to burn and force Talisman of Purification and the Purification Relic. The Ragnarok ultimate is an absolute menace to deal with. If you're at home wondering what jungler you want to pick up, Fenrir. Learn how to play Fenrir. It's not hard. Just pick people up, carry them around, take them to your team, and do that on cooldown. He gets
I mean,
access to
his brutalize is a skill shot. His brutalize is a skill shot. You really got to work on that one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You got to hit the labs for that. But once you master that, you're basically ready.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see how long it takes for this game 2 to start.
Say, wonder if yeah, we'll be back in just a second here.
All right. We got game 2 after that Loki split push. And once again, Loki's on the map. This time in the hands of Dark, opting not to go Fenrir this game. Fenrir picked up by Nil. A little bit of a swap hop around going on. Some role swaps too. Ice on the Susano. And Raffer on Odin. Is that Odin's support? Yes, it is. All right.
Support. Super fun pick for Tythonic here. Having access to Cage early on in team fights is a very handy tool. Keep people in place. Let your team be able to rip into them, especially because there are not as many shells this go around here. We only have 4 in total. The shell users over for Titans Reloaded, we have a Loki and Athena. So if you're able to catch... Yeah, say if you're able to catch the Athena or the Kukulkan unawares there, letting rip an Odin Cage can seal the deal on a kill. Look at Titans Reloaded sitting in this bush here.
They're positioning like a Sundering Arc is still a thing.
Minions have spawned.
Sundering Arc even picked up by Less Mystics there. It's only gonna do 200 damage at level 1.
Throwback.
Say we're
what a boomer Bacchus still getting Sundering.
SMH. Come on, Less Mystics. Wait, it's not 2024 anymore. It's 2024, but later. You can't...
So true. I really like the Odin into Athena matchup. There's some really interesting combinations there. As we see already some spice going on in the mid lane. Gunter not walking straight into the Kukulkan tornado. Good sign for Gunter. Still has their eyes. No need to go to the doctor.
Not yet, but let's take a look at some of the notable picks for this team. Cops. Kukulkan getting picked up alongside that Sunder tells me that Titans Reloaded really wants to have all the objectives secure in the world. Spirit of the Nine Winds being an incredibly useful tool for securing Gold Furies and Fire Giants now that Sunder is kind of out of the limelight. But when you stack that with the Sunder, just in case your Spirit of the Nine Winds doesn't quite hit the mark the way that it needs to, now you have extra tools available to help secure those things. This Fenrir in the solo lane, though, is what I'm especially curious about. We talked a little bit about how Fenrir is so strong because he can go anywhere. We're seeing it right now. Fenrir in solo up against the Less Mystics Bacchus.
Bacchus should have a lot of wave pressure on a Fenrir, right? Like, Fenrir goes to clear the wave, and then Bacchus just burps on him and hits both the wave and the Fenrir, correct?
Yeah. So Bacchus is able to interrupt a lot of what Fenrir wants to do. Brutalize being the main clear tool for Fenrir in lane, especially with that Death's Toll. Brutalize will proc on the Death's Toll to heal him. But Bacchus being able to either flop or burp on him to interrupt that or apply anti-heal is going to make it very difficult for Fenrir to lane. At least in the beginning, he's going to need some items online before he can contend with a Bluestone Bacchus.
Well, that's how you counter the burp. You just jump over the stun. I personally would rather have swapped the solo lane in support. I really like Fenrir in support to just pick up this Athena and kill her a bunch of times. But it is going to be able to do a lot of damage with that solo lane build. And we see already it's going to be a lot of pressure put around this Warhorn. Titans Reloaded it, picking it up without much of a fuss. Both of these solo laners should be pretty easy to get out of trouble, just jumping away whenever anybody shows up.
Even with the rotation from Ice there, I mean, Nil almost died from the Sunder, but Dark
Here comes the Loki. Here comes the Loki, stabbing in the bushes, giving it a little edge trim here. But Susanna is going to be able to get away. A little bit of a love tap given there to the enemy jungler, as we see in the duo lane going after this Athena, able to get up. Oh, good taunt into the 3, sticking on this Odin. Those ranged autos are mostly for show. They only do about 30 damage, hitting all of them though. It's about sending a message. It's not always about the damage. And the message is, I hate you. As we see Odin charging up this stun, hitting the stun onto this enemy Loki, doing approximately 20 damage to it, but having to back and letting them get this invade off. And Titans Reloaded, looks like they were able to pick up that invade there. Kind of hard to tell, but man, it always feels painful when you have to back right when a 3-man invade is going at your ADC's purple buff there.
And Shell doing an excellent job of keeping Iraffer just away from that brink of death. Dark's still trolling around in this dual lane, though. Smell blood in the water here.
As we see, they are at level 5. There could be a Jingwei ult coming out here at Dark. Good knock up from that Jingwei updraft. But Dark is able to just ult out of it. Having to expend the ult on a Jingwei. Man, times have changed. The winds have changed for Jingwei. Able to actually do things early game in Smite 2. What a time to be alive. As we see a gank coming off, and Susano following the Bacchus jump, getting the dot damage and bringing him down. First blood for Tythonic, picking up a 1-0 lead, matching the set status.
Les Mystics falling to the gank from Ice there is going to spell trouble for that lane. Being behind a Fenrir is not a pleasant experience for the best of solo laners. The fact that he can pick you up, you don't have a CC immunity ult as Bacchus, so you're kind of left to the whims of Ragnarok there, and the stun from the leap means that Fenrir will be able to put so much pressure. Picking up Golden Blade there as well, he's going to be doing so much damage when he gets that Brutalize off, and that's just going to ramp up for him as he builds more and more protection items.
Susano probably has to be the best jungler to try to chase down a Bacchus after he jumps away, correct? And here comes the Odin cage, stunning and just using the shell, just walking around. Here comes the Athena ult. You use the shell, you use the ult, dot damage ticking. The ticking time bomb on Athena doesn't go off. Athena backs, not even close. Don't worry about me, guys. I am A-okay. No problems over here. Perfectly calculated by Bandolero.
That right there is the power of the ring. Just enough prots to get you through the situation. So good on Bandolero for hanging out there. And there it is again. Ragnarok on to Dark there. We said it before. It's a tool and a half. It's going to earn Nil a kill in the solo lane. Now look at him. He's a full level up over this Bacchus. The snowball beginning to form here. Fenrir is absolutely going to be an issue for Titans Reloaded unless they can put him down.
Yeah, and usually like a solo laner who's fed an assassin usually can possibly have a favorable matchup. But what do you do when you're an assassin who's level 6 and the solo laner you're trying to gank is simply a higher level assassin? That's just not a good matchup. There's nothing you have that can fight this Fenrir.
Not at first. So Fenrir doesn't have any protections built right now. Golden Blade offers you strength and it offers you health and a little bit of extra damage to go with that. But he doesn't have Breastplate of Valor or a Berserker Shield or anything like that yet. So Dark definitely needs to strike while the iron is hot. Try to bait out that Fenrir ult. Try to respond with an ult of your own. Pour damage on with Bacchus to interrupt the healing. Try to put him in a position where you can swoop in and then take the kill. Barring that, Fenrir is a very safe god to play with his Brutalize, his jump, his ult. He can just get away from most situations. So trying to nail him down is going to be very tricky for Titan.
I don't know. That's what Dark just tried to do, and that iron that was hot just burned and branded him. Another 1-0-1 for this Fenrir in solo lane, already at level 9. Only other person on the map who's higher level is the mid laners. Hecate at a quiet 10 level lead right now. Bacchus using the ult. Man, I mean, you don't have protections from items. Kukulkan ult ripping up this Odin. Chased down by the Athena. Kill secured in the middle lane. Going for that gold camp next. And Jingwei and Ice are a little bit up at the top of this map. There's 4 members of Titans Reloaded nearby and an Athena. It is never too close out of danger here. Susanoo is going all in, and CC Immunity comes out and gets sneezed on by the Kukulkan. Slowed down, uses his teleport, and that's going to be enough. Thankfully, Susanoo is one of the most mobile gods in the game. If that was any other jungler, that sneeze might have spelled disaster for Ice. And once again, Gunter just casually 2 levels up in this mid lane on Hecate, who, as we saw last game, got so much value out of those ultimates. I don't know, this game might not last as long as the previous one.
Hecate is a very strong mid laner with her ultimate, like you said, Open the Gates being a tool to burn beads for your supports, as well as your solo laner, your Fenrir, is going to be a contender here in this dual lane. Athena coming out. Blaine, I don't think they're going to be able to get through this.
Oh, that's going to be a good Athena taunt to save that Jingwei from the Fenrir. Fenrir, using the ult, got a little bit of taste, was coming back for more. Thankfully, the Athena had to use ult and the taunt there to keep Nil off of the ADC. That's what it takes. Like, that is the type of commitment you have to use to stop one Fenrir ult. You have to use Athena ult, you have to use Athena taunt, and you have to use Jingwei beads. That's just how it is with early game Fenrir. It's devastating.
It's not going to be until late game, or maybe even mid game, if Titans Reloaded is able to secure an early Gold Fury or a similar objective, that they'll be able to really contend with this Fenrir. Look at, he picked up Mystical Mail, so now he's not only dealing physical damage, he's doing magical damage. So now you have to deal with the split damage scaling with the protections that you need to build. Bacchus is just going to have a tougher time in lane against him, and this Fenrir is already rotating Blaine. They're already looking to see what they can get from other lanes.
There's the Hecate ult, bringing him to the other side of the Odin cage, having the Phantom Shell to get through the Odin cage, barely getting out. Man, call this Athena an escape artist. Nothing is worse than looking outside in on an Odin cage and having to get through it. Thankfully able to do so. That was a well-placed Hecate ult, and very barely getting out of there is Bandolier.
A tale as old as Odin. I'm gonna use my cage, and then my mage is gonna use a giant AoE ultimate, and you have to deal with it. Having Odin paired with this Hecate is going to be a struggle until we can get Talisman of Purification online for Titans Reloaded and have the shells on a consistent cooldown for specifically these fights.
Looks like a counter engage up here around this gold camp, but it looks like Fenrir is going to be able to just Ragnarok away. Who needs protections when he can just go 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds and cross the lane? Lickety split. But they're not stopping. Here comes the shell. The jump gets a good stun, and the brutalize comes out, and Dark is going to get caught out. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but they do shut down this Fenrir. But as much as his rampage was, it wasn't a shutdown in terms of how much gold they're going to get, but it is going to make them feel a little bit better. As a Gold Fury is called here for Tythonic, zoning out and doing more than that to that Kukulkan, brought down by the Hecate, and they pick up the first Gold Fury of the game. Gold Furies used to get brought down in this Smite 2 at the 4 to 5 minute mark, now getting brought down at the 12 to 13 minute mark. Why do you think that is?
It's not, excuse me, it's not as easy as it was to gang up on these Gold Furies as it was while Sunder was as strong of a position it was in previous patches. You're not able to just buy 4 Sunders and say, okay, everybody, 3, 2, 1, achoo! And then, woo, I get a free Gold Fury, right? It takes a little bit more commitment. Tythonic needed to make sure that they were able to get that pick off of onto Bandolero. They had to make sure they could keep away Icy, because Spirit of the Nine Winds can and will ruin your day if you let it. So they had to check these boxes before they could say, okay, we can safely secure this Gold Fury without too much risk involved. So even as Titans Reloaded pick a kill onto Nil, it comes at the cost of Bandolero and a Gold Fury, so it keeps Tythonic in a really good spot.
All right, and now Pyromancers are spawning on the map. We saw how important those were until they weren't last game. But this time, the Loki is in the hands of Titans Reloaded. Lots of gods swapping teams this game. Odin is just going to be harassing Titans Reloaded, using the ult here, catching out the Athena, who has to get out of there. Loki goes in, ults in. A lot of just disengage coming out here from Tythonic. Odin's just hiding in the bushes, gets Athena taunted. Athena is going to get chased down by Odin. Odin does not have enough health bar for this Loki and is brought down by Ragna. Dark is eating dot damage, and here comes the Kukulkan. Spirit of the Nine Winds hits, well, fewer than 9 people there. Queen Naga spawning in on the other side of the map, and we have a pause. Bacchus split pushing down that solo lane. This is a 1-for-2 trade on the duo side of the map.
Definitely something you want to see if you are a member of Titan Reloaded. This is your comeback. This is your chance to assert some dominance in this game. The unfortunate part is that they don't have a Gold Fury to take, so there's not too much to do here, and Queen Naga is on the other side of the map. While this is happening, you do have less Mystics pushing in to that solo lane tier 2, but at this point you're gonna take your 2 kills and you're gonna be happy with it. Athena, Bandolero, holy cats. The tankiness that you get just from Breastplate of Valor, and they're gonna have that Talisman of Purification online soon. So the effectiveness of the CC from Nil, from Ice, from Gunter is going to start to lessen as Titans Reloaded is able to get more items online. Loki in the hands of Dark. So last game we saw that I believe it was Ice on the Loki last game, right?
I think it was Nil.
Was it Nil? Okay.
Nil was jungler last game, I'm pretty sure. Raffer was support.
Mm-hmm.
Ice was, man, I already forgot, my bad.
No, you should know. The point that I was making here is that Dark is not having the same success with this Loki as Tythonic did last game. Even as he did finish his Transcendence, he has Tekko Kagi now. I mean, Ice on the Susanoo is, they're tearing it up. And they're not afraid either. I mean, you watch the Susanoo just full dive onto people, kit dump, and then blink away, you know, waving and being like, all right, hey, that was fun, guys. I'll see you again when that's all back up, and, you know, that'll be your problem to deal with. So I'm wondering when the switch for Dark happens of I'm a Loki, I'm online. He already has
to be
two core items
to
there.
be fair, Loki only got online really later in the game, last game too, like getting that
Mhm.
triple kill late, and then getting the end call late too. I mean, a lot of times people remember the ends of games a lot more than the starts of games, right? Like I call it the Geb conundrum. Every Geb player remembers how good Geb feels at the end of a game, and then they start their next game on Geb just walking up to the other team and they get absolutely shredded and go, "Man, I died so quickly. My shell did nothing."
That sucks. No,
Yeah,
don't tell
yeah,
Lauren I
Geb
said that.
sucks. Geb is so bad. What the
So
heck?
awful. Ugh.
Yeah. So it's the Geb conundrum, right? I mean, I think Loki still has a chance here. We're gonna see it.
Popping back into the game. Tythonic
Yes,
and Titans
sir.
reloaded. Woo! Rock and roll.
Rock and or roll. We are 14 and a half minutes into this game. It is only about a 2K gold lead. But of course, we've said those words so many times only for the team to have the gold lead kill the game very, very quickly. Of course, the game has changed. It is not as easy to convert a gold lead to a win. We saw that last game. The team that had a gold lead basically the entire game was not able to convert it to anything, had multiple sieges that just did not go well for a very long time.
Say the pushback factor that you get to have from one team fight is, I mean, I say it a lot. It only takes one good fight, right? All you need to do is wipe them once, and then all of a sudden you're like, ah, no, we win. This is crazy. And then you're ahead for the next fight. So you're almost assuredly winning on that one. Holy cats in this mid lane.
Well, you're not in Kansas anymore. Gunter brought down. Here comes the Odin cage. That's one way to get out of it. Here comes the Athena ult. Not quite landing on this Odin. Odin is going to get taunted back into the tornado. The dot damage swirling and burning. And Alcee picks up the kills on Raffer. Shell's coming out. Nil picks up the Fenrir kill. Athena brought down by the Bacchus, finding a bit more success in the other lanes here. Man, it doesn't matter how good you've been dealing with a Bacchus in the other lanes. When he rotates and he's the same level as your mid laner, he's still going to be bringing trouble.
Fight's not even over. Nil underneath this tier 2 tower. Tythonic wants more there, but they're not able to find it. That last fight, we saw Athena finish that Talisman of Purification, and it becomes immediately useful. And with the shells to boot, even Nil with his lead that he has is not able to save Gunter and Raffer from the fate of living in black and white for the next few seconds there.
Yeah, and we just mentioned the gold lead, and it's gone.
Yeah. Tied. Poof.
Poof.
One one rough altercation in mid lane, and suddenly we're staring at a tied game in kills and in gold, even though Tythonic has a gold here.
Yeah, the biggest thing on this map is a huge support level lead now. This Athena level 14, that's what shutdown kills will do for you. They were kill secures, by the way. I just wanted to be added.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, they actually they were.
Yeah,
actually, legitimately. It's not even sarcasm. They were legitimately kill secures. As we see. No, they were. Stop. I can't believe you. As we see a lot of action put up around the left side of this map. Gold Fury is up. It is going to be that tier 2. Enhancing those minion waves is always worthwhile, especially with how much trouble these teams have had split pushing. And talk about caught out in a bad news bears situation. Odin cage being used very well there. Fenrir jumping in and jumping out, doing a little put your right foot in, put your right foot out there. And oh, there's the Spirit of the Nine Winds. And Gold Fury is being leashed. It's more of a leash to try to draw people in than really going for it here. Jingwei is going to pick it up, then switches targets over to the enemy support, and the Brutalize brings down the Athena. You cannot dash far enough away to bring that dog off of you. Double kill. for the Fenrir, stunning out this level 17 Bacchus. The jump comes out, and Emmanuel picks up the third kill of this fight. It is a 3-for-0 trade, and it will probably be a Gold Fury pull for real this time, as Kukulkan is brought back in between his towers in the mid lane. Fenrir, looking at him, might be tower diving in this mid lane, while Tythonic is going for the Gold Fury, decides to just farm up the wave instead, and that will be, talk about bringing that gold lead right back to where it was. We are so back. Tythonic, second Gold Fury of the game.
Not even just Gold Fury. Look at this. They're taking that tier 2 mid tower. They're going to walk over, start up this Pyromancer. Titans Reloaded wants to find an answer.
And Jingwei very safely ulting out here. Nil getting taunted in, but Nil's level 19. It's okay. It's all right. They're doing okay.
Actually,
hip-hop happening. A taunt on the level 19 Fenrir is like throwing a rock in a lake. If nobody's around, it's all right. As we see, Queen Nagas, you need as many of these as possible for some of these EFG pulls. And Odin, blink and you'll miss it. They'll miss him in this next fight. These Odin cages have been doing a really good job. The other team only has 2 shells instead of 5 this time. So these Odin cages have actually been able to, you know, wall people this game. I know, shocking. Odin cage doing its job as Titans Reloaded, picking up the Pyro Bomb, and Fenrir is going all in. I see nothing but red markers around this Fenrir. All he's surrounded by is fear, though. I don't know what's happening, but he's still at full health. What is going on over there? Who knows? Susano clearing this wave up. Fenrir just went 1v3 and was okay with it. I don't know.
That's one tanky dog, Blaine. Look at the build that he has there. He's got Golden Blade with Mystical Mail, Genji's, now he's got Glad Shield, so he hits that Brutalize. He's gonna be, look at this! Look at all that! Look at the yellow numbers, green numbers, he's healing, he's dealing damage. Level 9.
Yeah.
Wild.
And then,
yeah, dude, he's gonna hit level 20, Blaine. When he hits level 20, that Death's Temper is gonna turn into a Death's Embrace. Instead of getting, like, 2 plus 0.3% of your max health, he's going to restore 1.4% of his health and 2% of his mana, right? With the health items that he has in Golden Blade and in Mystical Mail, as well as the next item that he's building there too, it's going to get rough. Metal of Disruption with an Ardroid Ring, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to have a Talisman of Purification as well.
And the dropship, not fast enough for this Athena. Man, they just hunted her down in this jungle. No vision, no life for Athena. And it's going to be a push down this mid lane, it looks like, maybe? They're putting the minions and they're rotating around to this right side of the map now. Man, talk about a momentum swing in these last 3 minutes. It was completely even at 7-7. And while Tythonic hasn't picked up that many kills, it's been all them. And they are going for this Fire Giant call, zoning out with the Odin Cage. Odin Cage already brought up. The Titans, the Fire Giant's not even at half health here. Fenrir is going after and ulting somebody way back at the XP camps. This is a split fight if I've ever seen one. Susano and Gunther is able to pick up the Fire Giant. Man, I've never seen a Fire Giant call with members so spread across the map like that. And Fenrir is going to... Fenrir's okay! Fenrir jumped out of it? What? Susano's dashing around away from this. And Jingwei's ulting in, going after Ragna, picking up the kill. That is 2 kills for Tythonic in this fight. Make it 3. Double kill for Gunter, picking up the Fire Giant and 2 kills. Hecate putting in work this game as we've seen all set long. 22.5 minutes, first Fire Giant of the game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're Tythonic in this moment, you have your Fenrir who is able to just mad dog at people, quite literally, in the back line, while your team is able to focus and secure a Fire Giant. You saw Susanoo pulling less Mystics away from his team to make sure that they had the space to be able to do that, and now your carries have Fire Giant, they have items, your gold lead is pushing almost 8K. If you're a Tythonic fan, You've got the signs and the balloon beaters. You're going crazy. This is your moment, your time to shine. It doesn't even end here, right? Because now they're going to walk over to this Gold Fury and earn themselves a third Gold Fury pip, deal additional damage to structures and objectives.
They're going to kill this Athena. Fenrir's going to go after this Athena. On my mama. They're going to pick up this Gold Fury as well.
Oh yeah.
He's going to kill this Athena, and now Ancient Fury is going to go to Tythonic next if they are not careful. That is 3 Gold Furies in their pocket. 3-0. This might be a 2-0. 24 minutes in. All the towers in mid lane are gone. They have a minion wave pushed up all the way to this Phoenix. Bacchus needs to get this back off because they're going to go after this duo lane tower next.
If not the tower, then they'll definitely set up for a pyromancer or something. You know, they're gonna go down to the oh gosh, I don't know if you ever played Dark Souls, but the Blight Town. They're gonna talk to the lead. They're gonna get their flame. It's gonna go nuts. They'll settle for a Naga, right? But Tythonic is now finishing some very important items that's going to make it even harder to put them down. Fenrir picking up that Death's Embrace. Hakati finishing up Last Gas. They've got Evil Eye, so now they have so much penetration to burn through Bandolero and Less Mystics. Emmanuel having their chin-sized Titan's Bane. They're going to pick up a Sunbeam Bow, I believe, which is the first time I've seen it built. Which I'm pumped to see how that goes. That's a fun item to have. Try that one in your ranked games. Getting additional little projectiles to fire at the cost of a bit of mana. Something you can do when you're in ADC. You don't have to worry about mana. Just worry about holding left click as we start looking at this right side tier 2 for Tythonic.
Yeah, any item is better than no item in those 5th and 6th slots when you have such a gold lead. Are they going to push this? They do have 1 bomb. We saw how difficult sieging was last game, but man, no team had a gold lead like this. No team had a Fenrir performing like this. They are going in, and that is already Fenrir ult out. Taunted back in. Spirit of the Nine Winds blows by. It was a drive-by. It was a zoning ult. And they are going to get caught up a little bit by those tornadoes. 1 ult down for Titans Reloaded. They still have a lot of defend potential here. Tythonic learned the lessons of this last set in deciding not to smash their heads against the brick wall that is this Phoenix.
Even with Spirit of the Nine Winds used there, Titans Reloaded still had a few tricks up their sleeves. You're sitting with a Neith and an Athena, so if Neith is able to throw down some weaves onto that Phoenix, she can make them explode, hold people in place for a big root. You have Loki ultimate, wasn't quite online there yet, but still something that could come up in the middle of the fight. But Less Mystics, notably there, is standing next to a Phoenix. The Bacchus is there to hold the fort down. If you can't burst him down, he's going to make it a problem for you, because that means that Icy, Dark, and Ragna will be able to follow up on whatever he does. So making sure that you grab a pick onto one of the tanks, or ideally a squishy, so that they don't have the damage, they don't have the follow-up off of the CC that they can put out when you're fighting on their turf, is something that you want to do first. Fire Giant respawning here means that Tythonic is going to have another crack at it to pick up this FG potentially, and then walk over to this Ancient Fury to make the siege that much easier.
And it is going to be Odin zoning as he did last time. Fenrir going after the backline. Who will he pick up? He does go after this level. Oh, Bees comes out, jumps over the Spirit of the Nine Winds, and Gunter picks up the kill on Bacchus. Athena once again ulting just to try to get out. Jingwei sends her another way, as this is going to be 2 members down for Titans Reloaded, and this might be the time that this Phoenix falls. Oh my goodness. Gunter almost killed there. As we see Jingwei dashing in, Purification Beads coming out from Kukulkan. Brought down, critting onto Ragna, critting onto Dark, and that is going to be a good trade for Titans Reloaded. They do take out the ADC at the price of their jungler. it might be just enough to defend this Phoenix if they're able to get back up here in time. Not enough. 4 up, 4 down. A bit of an uneven trade, and the Phoenix in solo lane goes down for Titans Reloaded. Oh my goodness. Jingwei went in and snatched some bodies with those crits.
100%. And honestly, Titans Reloaded, if they didn't kill her there, they lost the game. Being able to
Could have been so much worse.
Oh, it could have been so much worse. You're happy to see that Jingwei. You're like, okay, we lost a Phoenix. That's not the end of the world, right? It's like that could have been the game, but it wasn't. You're able to take that Jingwei off the board. You're able to stop that push. You put the members of Tythonic really low. Oh my gosh, look at Nil. Look at it, not a care in the world. Even Raffer is starting to feel it. He's like, yeah, I'm super tanky too. I want a piece of this. Look at him go.
Man, Nil is a dog, just always on the enemy side of the jungle, and has just really been able to embolden this Odin to do the same. They've been feasting on this side. It's 2v4. It's a 2v4, and they can just jump away.
Not for long. Well, think about it. Fenrir has so much sustain now, especially with that Shield of the Phoenix and the fact that he has lifesteal attached to Death's Embrace. He heals forever. Oh, Raffer does not, though. He does not have those items.
Yeah. You get a little bit too emboldened by having Nil around that you kind of forget that your health bar is a kind of separate entity sometimes.
So you're not building intelligence there, Odin. Your shield it's decoration, right? Like it's a cool little thing that shows up. You're like, haha, yeah, and then
you don't have 5 shells on your team.
Yeah, you don't have 5 shells on your team. Oh, you take a step back there, buddy, man. But Raffer going down there means that Titans Reloaded has a chance to defend this Fire Giant. Notice that I say defend. I don't think they can start it up because Nil is in the area and he's an upset, hungry dog looking to take a bite out of crime.
Yeah, Nil and Hecate both at 6-1 and 7, and Jingwei at 4-1 and 4. I don't know. You probably have to kill the Jingwei. Jingwei probably has to be the highest priority for Titans Reloaded simply because it's the ADC in the late game and you need to defend your Titan. But man,
well,
I don't want to kill. I don't want to try to kill any of those.
Casually soloing an Ancient Fury, just Jingwei things. You know, it's fine.
It happens.
That's the power of the Naga as well, being able to just send those little snake guys out and be like, cool, you tank this and I'm gonna just dump into this thing and go crazy. Nil, stop harassing them, Nil.
Brought to low health bar, CC immunity comes out. Beneath ult does not do enough, wasn't charged up enough. Nil's health bar is still a little bit green and a little bit okay. Oh my goodness, the shell there, just enough to survive. And they don't have enough time to pick this fight before Nil is back. Nil's ult is down, but I mean, it's already halfway up again.
So much cooler.
Up again, Odin Cage comes out. The Kukulkan tornadoes are ticking. Bacchus almost solos Jingwei. Jingwei's low in the back, but they do not have a Neath ult to bring her down. And guess who? It is Odin jumping at the back line, slowed down by this Athena. Gunter is going in, and Nil picks up Aussie. Nil's still going. Nil is jumping in. CC immunity. Ragnarok comes out, brings up Ice, kills Dark. Nil's jumping in again. Brutalize comes out onto Ragna. Double kill. Unstoppable for Nil. Another kill for Ice. Double kill. 4 kills for Tythonic. Nil is reducing Titans Reloaded to a null set. That is 4 kills. Chaos Phoenix is down. It is a Titan push. Will Bacchus be able to defend? He has a bit of burst damage. Can he kill this Jingwei? Jingwei is still up and alive, and the Titan goes down. Deicide. It is game over. Tythonic wins 2-0.
Reloaded, they didn't have an answer to Fenrir. That's honestly what it was. Fenrir I mean, Nil on this god was going absolutely crazy. Look at you, saw him just running at people without a care in the world. And he has so much sustain in his build, and he's so tanky, and he has so much cooldown with Genji's Guard, with Glad Shield. You have Shield of the Phoenix. What do you do? What are you supposed to do about that? There's not a single. Am I tripping? There's not a single anti-heal item coming out from Titans Reloaded. They didn't account for the fact that this Fenrir will just stay alive. Even if there aren't gods that have prevalent heals in their kit, you need to absolutely take into account the fact that Death's Embrace will just keep somebody alive forever, especially in the late game. So, and with the Ruinous Venom being such a cheap pickup that it is, and only 600 gold, is really easy to invest into. Brawlers has Pen now. It was absolutely an option for people, but just not a way that they wanted to go. That Fenrir is 8-1.
The shell right before that Ragnarok might have saved the game. Or if Neath had been able to charge up, I don't know if it was a fully charged ult. If it wasn't, man, that was not a ton of damage off that Neath ult.
See, they've only got a couple pen items between Soul Eater, excuse me, between Rod of Tahuti and Soul Reaver. It's very different. And they've also got Transcendence Penetration there. They've got the Book of Thoth to pair with that. So I guess the damage was just lacking. Genji's Guard paired
It was
with
probably a quick-fired ult because Fenrir was about to escape vision.
Yeah,
would be my guess. But like, oh my goodness, that was so close.
And Shell,
Yeah.
that's the relic. That's the one. That's the one you want to have.
Man, I mean, they had fewer shells, but it still came in clutch. 2-0 Tythonic in two really entertaining, good games. I mean, by far, a lot closer, a lot like more back and forth, even less snowbally games than a lot of the previous weeks.
Say, both teams performing excellently there. Titans Reloaded, I mean, they only lost that first game because of that Loki split push, blindside, and then Tythonic, they had the pace, from the start of the game. It was even for a bit. It swung back and forth, but they won very important fights, and they were just able to catapult themselves straight to victory off the back of Fenrir, just dominating in the solo lane and making very early rotations as well.
All right. Thanks for watching this set. We'll be back for the next one.